use that. Why? That's mommy's. Use this if you want to smell like that tea.
You never had to question if you were a man, so why give your money to a corporation that doesn't know if their products are made for men? Try Jeremy Razor's hair and body products. Jeremy shampoo and conditioner are made with tea tree oil to naturally clean and restore your hair and scalp, argan oil to soften your hair and not your masculinity, and aloe vera to moisturize the hair and scalp. It's all paraben-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free, and most importantly, 100% woke-free. Not to mention, it smells amazing. Go to jeremyrazors.com and use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. That's jeremyrazors.com. Use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has some things that it might be lucky for him. I don't know, but it's several trials that, he has several indictments that happened over the last year. I believe because he put his bid in for presidency. Whether you believe that or not, he's facing these court cases. And we're going to talk about what's going on in these trials with Donald Trump or with his court cases. And another thing I would like to discuss is Killer Mike. Killer Mike, he is a well-known rapper. He's been in the game for quite some time. Some people might think he's like an old school type rap, but Killer Mike was arrested during the Grammy Awards on Saturday. And I wanted to talk about that because I think, they're saying that he assaulted somebody or he had some type of altercation with somebody, but coming to find out the altercation was something with, I guess, some of the people that he was with. He wasn't really involved in the altercation, but I have my own take on why Killer Mike was arrested, and you guys, we'll talk about it. So we'll talk about that and more on today's episode of Business Talk.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
You guys put it in the chat. Let me know that you could hear me and see me. Put it in the chat. I want to make sure my volume is correct. Okay, let's see who we have in the building. We have Kennard, the DJ. Thank you for tuning in, Kennard. Ryan Foster, what's going on? Ryan Foster says is about to go down. These DAs are straight clowns. Okay. I absolutely agree with you. Dr. Butt-Toot. Dr. Butt-Toot, yes, they are. Dr. Butt-Toot gifted 5 Chawanne memberships. I don't know what this. I don't know what this is saying. Anyway, you guys, put it in the chat and let me know where you're tuning in from. And I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Our membership is growing. If you really want to continue to support to the channel, you could subscribe to my membership. And either if I make revenue off the stream or not, you could continue to support on a monthly basis. And that membership, I believe it's like $3.99 or $4.99 a month. So just $4.99 a month, you could support the channel. And I do not make a lot on the streams. Actually, I don't really make any money if I show you the YouTube ads and paycheck is little to no or nothing. And one of the reasons why I'm kind of late, because usually I stream about 1:30. I had to go grocery shopping and I went to Costco's, and literally what I made last month, I spent on my grocery shopping at Costco. So buying snacks and stuff for the kids. Don't think I'm poor. I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. That's some of my responsibilities of being a wife is buying groceries for the kids, like fun groceries. Anyway, so if you want to support the channel, you too can become a member of the channel. So let's get started with the story for the hour. You know, over the weekend, we found out that Fani Willis is lying to us. We viewed a 176-page document. If you guys missed that live stream, I did chop it up into a smaller video. You can actually go view that video. It is out on my channel right now. Let me just pull it up for you. You could view that video, and I went through the 176-page document where Fani Willis tried to take accountability. She's not being accountable. Fani Willis literally ran on anti-corruption against the prior DA, because I guess the prior DA had a bunch of sex scandals coming out his office. And so she ran against that. She said, under my administration, I will not sleep with my subordinates. I will not sleep with my staff. I don't think it is right for the American people to be sponsoring that type of mess, that type of riffraff. And we should be the highest, or actually in her speech, she said she was one of the most powerful people in the land on that side of the region of United States. And one of the things that they should be doing as district attorneys is having some type of moral code and more responsibility. 2 years later, fast forward, Fani Willis gets caught up sleeping with her subordinate. And not only she's sleeping with her subordinate, we find out that the guy that she's sleeping with is not only she's paying him a lot of money, and he's not really qualified to actually prosecute Donald Trump and his co-conspirators. Okay, so Fani Willis just actually ruined her career because of this. Now, so we found that out over the weekend. She is supposed to dispose herself on February the 15th in regards to whether or not, to question whether or not is this whole scandal, I guess, are they going to drop the court case? I doubt it. They're not going to drop the court case, but they're trying to see if this is appropriate relationship, or should they get other prosecutors involved. But in her 176-page document, she claims that they are doing a disservice if they replace her, because she is the only one that's passionate enough to prosecute Donald Trump. That's what she basically said in her document. In the response, whether or not you were sleeping with this man. Oh, yeah, I am sleeping with him, but I'm the most passionate, so don't replace me. Like, what? What? Somebody earth to Fani Willis. Does that make any sense? You're not the only one that's passionate about prosecuting Donald Trump. Literally. Now, the reason why she doesn't want to get replaced is probably going to ruin her case against Donald Trump, because you are the person that appointed all these attorneys. You are the person that appointed the investigators. You are the person that was doing all the work. So for someone to just come and replace you, yeah, it's going to ruin the case. So then it will be grounds to dismissal, because what are we saying here? Now, even though it's a frivolous case. So anyway, that's happening with the Fani Willis case. I'm not for sure if they're going to actually, what am I saying? Drop the case, but it certainly is delayed. Now, what are we saying here? It's delayed because it's really, like I said, it's a positive for Donald Trump, because since it is delayed, Donald Trump is a guarantee he's going to win the primaries for the Republican Party. That's a guarantee. So we have that, and also, well, the Georgia case, and now we have the Jack Smith case. Now, if you're not familiar with the Jack Smith case, that's when they were saying that Donald Trump took these documents from his job, these, I guess, security documents from his job. He didn't release the documents back to the people, the United States. So they called it espionage or treason or whatever they were calling it. But that's the Jack Smith case. And since that case has also been, I guess, pushed back. And the reason why it's pushed back is kind of odd. I just wanted you guys to see this. This is why I pulled that up. I wanted you to see this. This is the last video I posted about Fani Willis. So if you want to view that, it is on my channel now. Anyway, so let me just get to the court case. With Jack Smith. Let me just pull that up. Okay, and it says Trump trial delayed in case stemming from special counsel Jack Smith.
Welcome to North Little Rock.
I don't know why I did that. January 6th investigation. Okay. They delayed the trial. And it says former President Trump trial stemming from the special counsel Jack Smith 2020 election interference investigation has been delayed indefinitely. Indefinitely. The trial was set to begin in March the 4th. Why would they set the trial a day before Super Tuesday? You're just election interference. You're charging him for election interference, but you're committing the crime of election interference. Does that make any sense? It does not make any sense. I don't know why they're doing this. Okay. So, and it says it was a critical Super Tuesday primary contest between, all the majority of the states. Anyway, federal judge Chunkin on Friday formally vacated the March 4th trial, saying the court will set a new scheduled date if and when the mandate is returned. Okay, so what they're basically saying, they're trying to make a ruling in Colorado, and it went to Supreme Court. Remember, in Colorado, they ruled that Donald Trump actually violated the 14th, I think it was the 14th Amendment, election insurrectionist, and he actually violated that rule of the Constitution. So he automatically disqualified himself for, they didn't call it election interference. They called it an insurrection. So I guess anyone who, leads an insurrection automatically disqualifies. I'm not a lawyer. That's what they're saying. So you had all these other people, lawyers and attorney generals, since they didn't like Trump. Oh, they're making a ruling on themselves in their particular state. So they was trying to take him off the ballot because they're claiming that he actually committed this insurrection. Okay, when you look up the word insurrection, they talk about some violent stuff, like you took over the military, like a coup. And I don't know if you guys have been watching or listening to the mainstream media. They're trying to change that insurrection, which I really can't comprehend insurrection with the January 6th. I don't even call it a riot. I call it a protest. What we seen when they burning down these Targets and these other businesses, now that's a riot. At January 6th, the Capitol, that is not a riot. What's his name? Cat Williams talked about how white folks can't even riot. White folks can't even riot because they go around knocking over trash cans and picking them back up. So, like I said, when they call January 6th a riot or insurrection, I'm like, I don't see the same thing that they're seeing. So even, some people did, one person lost their life and some people got hurt. But like I said, I don't equate the pictures and the videos I seen with insurrection and riot. It doesn't match up. Anywho, this is what the liberal people are saying. Trump incited an insurrection, so we're going to hold him to that insurrectionist thing. So they ruled in Colorado. Now, back to what I was getting at. Colorado said, hey, we're going to take you off the ballot. Trump appealed it. And now they're waiting on the Supreme Court ruling on that. And once the Supreme Court rules to overturn this judgment that was made in Colorado, and that which they would. I mean, you just got to be blind, deaf, and dumb to say, oh, yeah, that was an actual insurrectionist. Anyway, once that rules, Chuckin is saying, hey, if it rules in Trump's favor, we are going to just drop this. We're not going to even bother with this. So, like I said, he is winning on that because, like I said, you have to be like really, I mean, you guys put in the chat. This is just my personal opinion. When you saw, and if you saw the January 6th Capitol protests, and they call it a riot or insurrection, when you saw that, did you was like, dang, they tearing some shit up? No, I didn't feel that way. I was like, oh, they up there protesting because they feel like, the election was stolen from them. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Whether or not you agree on their synopsis, whether or not the election was stolen from them, they still had the right to protest. Now, so Jack Smith is probably pissed off right about now. And you could tell by his face. His face says, I'm pissed off. And Trump is saying, yeah, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. You're not going to win. And I'm glad Trump is being resilient because he could, it could go either way with this. Because me personally, I believe they're actually persecuting Trump because he decided to run for presidency again. They thought he was just going to go away, and he's not. And I'm glad he's not. Anyway, so you have that with Donald Trump. And this is Fox News take on this. And I'm going to play this before we go to the next case.
Now weigh in on Trump's eligibility to run for president. The court agreed to take up Trump's appeal to the Colorado Supreme Court in an expedited track. Oral arguments are expected by February 8th and then a ruling soon after, as Democrats in Colorado and Maine are seeking to keep former President Trump off of the election ballot. As New York Attorney General Letitia James is stepping up her pressure in Trump's civil fraud case. In a filing on Friday, James is demanding that Trump be banned for life from the state's real estate industry, as well as he and his business associates be fined $370 million. That is, of course, an increase from the $250 million that she was originally seeking. Joining me right now with reaction and response to all of this is Alina Habba, attorney for former President Trump. Alina, thanks very much for being here. a lot to handle here. First, I want to ask you about the special counsel, Jack Smith. What is President Trump's reasoning for wanting him to be held in contempt?
Because he is in contempt. He has clearly ignored the court's stay of that decision. The decision is completely disregarded. Just like anything, these radical lefts are really pushing their own agenda. What happened was there was a stay in the proceeding. That means that all actions, all activities on that case must stop until the issue of presidential immunity is addressed. That means that the president would have immunity during the time as he was sitting president, the same immunity Biden and Obama and everybody else gets. He should be afforded that immunity. That decision needs to be made before there can be any activity on this case. Jack Smith has completely disregarded the Washington court's decision to stay pending the immunity decision and has continuously filed motions to inundate our team and disregard the law. It is a clear contempt case. I know that if I was sitting as the counsel doing that and filing motions, I would be in contempt very quickly. I would be sanctioned. So let's see how they hold the cards on this one. But to me, it's a clear-cut contempt motion.
And, of course, Jack Smith is responding to this, saying that they did not violate a court order by providing discovery ahead of deadlines and that Trump's quote-unquote recycled allegations of partisanship and prosecutorial misconduct remain baseless. Where is this going? These issues are headed right into politics as we are now just 8 days away from the Iowa caucuses.
Yeah, and they're not heading into politics. They started with politics, Maria. This is all rooted in politics. The fact that you look at the lawfare that we're going through, and if you look at the timeline of these cases, these activities happened while he was sitting as president, most of them. So they waited, investigated for years and years and years. And then they say we are in a rush to get to trial. Why are we in a rush to get to trial, Jack Smith? Because you can't win the election. So this is how they have to do it. It's called election interference. It's political lawfare. It is 100% political. And what they're doing is doing it at critical times. I have a trial coming up. I have closing arguments this week, all while Iowa is going on so that the president is taken off the campaign trail and into the courtroom.
Well,
it's so obvious and pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, right. When you're in a trial, you've got to be there. So he can't be on the campaign trail. It's a very important point that you make. What about Letitia James and her stepped-up activity? How are you handling that?
So Miss James has, in my mind, always been a bit of a fame-hungry human being that has put her politics again in front of the interests of the New York state, like she should be. She decided after a trial where we had experts say that statements were undervalued, where we had experts who were on the Nobel Executive Committee reference team tell the judge that he did nothing wrong, that his statements actually gave too much information, and there were no victims, and Deutsche Bank said, hey, we loved working with Trump. He actually paid his loans off early in many instances, if not on time. We all made money, and he overinvested in the properties, the assets related to the mortgages, and he was a great client. After that, she thinks it's time to up the ante on how much he should pay. She wants to completely wipe clean the bank account of the Trump organization. She wants to hurt individuals who have done nothing wrong. She wants to disgorge them of their severance pay. Imagine the lengths she is going to personally hurt Trump because she ran a campaign on going after Trump and she has to keep her political promise. It is so sick and sad, honestly, for New York. I love the state of New York. I should say I loved the state of New York, but I have real concerns for any business that is doing business right now in the state of New York under Letitia James.
Well, it's pretty incredible that Trump built his empire in New York and now she wants him banned from the real estate industry in New York. It's pretty extraordinary.
That's right.
What is the president expecting, President Trump, from all of this? I mean, he's still campaigning. He was obviously campaigning in Iowa just over the weekend. What is he expecting in terms of all of these legal issues and how he's going to make it to the finish line?
I know what he's expecting victory. Okay, so why would you ask that question? I'm going to answer it for you. He's expecting victory because he's putting his faith in the justice system, even though he knows that they are personally prosecuting him. I wanted to go back to Letitia James. Letitia James.
North Little Rock. We have a
Letitia James is now, she wanted $260 million from Donald Trump. Letitia James now wants $370 million. The nerve of her. I wanted to play this for you guys. This is Donald Trump. This is how they paint Donald Trump. Whether you believe it or not, to me, it's a bunch of BS. You put something on the headline, put Donald Trump's name on it, and negative on the headline. And then when you open it up, it's like, this is not what you described the situation as. They, and I'm saying they, this deposition was leaked. And it's only 2 minutes. I believe he gave this deposition back in April sometime. Let's see, news. I'm trying to find it. Let me see if I could go in my history. So I don't know if you guys remember when they first came out with the leaks. What's the guy's name who was, they got him on, trafficking. What is the guy's name? Anyway, Donald Trump, they kept on putting Donald Trump name on the like he was part of this, whatever. But they released some of the depositions prior, and they interviewed one of the girls that was trafficked, and she was like, yeah, Donald Trump was there one day, and they asked him, hey, did Donald Trump ever do something for to you or whatever? And she was like, no, Donald Trump never touched me or anything and inappropriately or anything like that. But on each news media outlet, they kept on putting Donald Trump and blah, blah, blah is on this list. But when you read it, it had nothing to do with Donald Trump. They will put his name on there and his picture on, like he was part of this flight log, this sex trafficking ring. And I can't say sex because, YouTube will flag this video. But they kept on putting this out there like he was part of this whole conspiracy or this whole illegal activity. And like I said, this is it. It says Donald Trump goes from calm to indignant in newly released deposition video in the civil fraud lawsuit. Now, indignant. Indignant means like anger, annoyed, or something just unjust or unworthy. He seemed quite, I don't even think he was quite annoyed. But anger, I didn't see anger. To me, the way they describe Donald Trump, and they keep on doing this, like he's just like such a terrible person. And all the accounts with people that actually met Donald Trump, they don't even have problems with Donald Trump. They actually like the man. So I just, I guess I want you guys to be mindful of stuff that you are reading in the media. Okay, so they're saying Donald Trump goes from calm to indignant in a newly released deposition video of a civil fraud case. Now, you guys, let me know if you feel like this man was being indignant.
Today I'm bringing you back to one of my favorite places to study at in college, which is the Green Dragon Cafe.
Anyway, skip.
You know, I don't believe I ever got. Do you know the banks were fully paid? Do you know the banks made a lot of money? Do you know, I don't believe I ever got even a default notice? And even during COVID, the banks were all paid. And yet you're suing on behalf of banks, I guess. It's crazy. The whole case is crazy. You said the numbers were very wrong in the sense of I defrauded banks by using them, even though the banks were fully paid and had no complaints, and to this day have no complaints, right? You sued me. What you did is a terrible thing.
Did he get angry? No, he's just voicing his opinion. He actually went from calm to calm. I mean, like I said, I don't understand I do understand. I'm not saying I don't. I do understand because they don't want him to be the president. They don't have any control over Donald Trump. That's exactly why they don't want him to be the president, because they can't control him. He's not a politician. He don't play by their rules. He just do whatever the hell he wants to do. Anyway, so you see the title, and they're saying he went from calm to indignant or angry, basically. And I didn't see that. But he's very white. Why are you, suing me? You're claiming that I defraud the banks, but if I defraud the banks, that means I wouldn't have paid the banks back, right? I defraud them for what? To pay them back? It really doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so Letitia James, their trial or the ruling of how much Donald Trump is expected to pay is delayed. Only reason why it's delayed is because Judge Engoron, to me, he shouldn't be a judge either. Engoron, because he's very biased. He's using his own political agenda and his own personal agenda against Donald Trump. They're claiming that Donald Trump, I guess one of his ex-employees, they're claiming that he admitted to perjury. And they're saying that he actually lied on the stand in favor of Donald Trump. That's what they're saying. So the judge is waiting to see, okay, how he lied on the stand to help out Donald Trump. So I guess this is going to determine how much Donald Trump will be responsible for. But little do they know, okay, if you're saying someone was defrauded, that means someone was hurt in the action that Donald Trump took. Well, who was hurt in this particular instance? If you tell me they lied on their building or whatever, okay, Donald Trump, they're claiming Donald Trump inflated the value of his building, and that's how he was able to get a note on his building, or was able to refinance some of his commercial property. Okay, so usually the bank do their own due diligence. They don't just loan out blank checks. And if you're at that point, that means you already established something with the bank to get a blank check. So since Donald Trump probably I think they say he got about 500 something odd properties. Since he got that many properties, or they actually said companies, he has about 500 different companies. And so since he's that large, okay, He's not in the same playing field as we are. We got to go to the bank and fill out paperwork. He just go to the bank, hey, so and so, I got a deal or something I need, and they could evaluate. Well, from the last, you always paid us back, or no, I see you look like you're over leveraged. That's normally how it goes down. Or our rates are going up. I don't know if we could lend. We're tightening up our lending. So we don't know if we could lend you that much. Maybe we could lend you this much. So Letitia James is just reaching out there to say, oh, you defrauded the banks, but the banks got paid. If he defrauded the banks, Letitia James would know about it last, because the banks will literally be after Donald Trump. And he probably would have filed bankruptcy or whatever to say, hey, I can't pay you back. But he didn't do none of those things with his properties. Okay. So, like I was saying, Engoron, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. What's the guy's name? Oh, Engoron's, yeah. Is Judge Engoron's potential last-minute ammunition against Donald Trump. Okay, and they're saying the guy perjured himself. The former federal prosecutor has said. And it's saying that Alan Weisselberg is negotiating the plea deal after allegedly admitting that he lied in his testimony before Engoron. If this is true, admission could have a major influence on Engoron's judgment. How can that have an influence on Engoron's judgment unless Donald Trump said, hey, or Weisselberg is saying, hey, you better lie for me. You guys put in the chat. Why would this influence his judgment? You already upped the judgment. You already said he's liable. So why does this have to do with what you're going to say if what Donald Trump owes? I believe Engoron is going to come back with something over 370 million. You guys, what time is it? Today is February 5th at 3:27 p.m. Judge Engoron is going to make, or try to make, because I'm pretty sure they're going to appeal the decision, because a lot of stuff came out that they was not allowing the prosecutor, or not the prosecutor, but the defendant's attorney, which is Donald Trump attorney, Elena Haba, and them. They couldn't admit a lot of information. They just disqualified experts. Some of their experts couldn't testify. So they're going to overrule this ruling. Anyway, like I said, on February 5th, 3:27 p.m., Judge Engoron, I'm predicting Judge Engoron is going to rule that Donald Trump is liable for more than $327 million. Reason why I'm saying that is Judge Engoron does not like Donald Trump. Letitia James doesn't like Donald Trump. They trying to get a one win. Every liberal in New York City that hates Donald Trump, they're trying to get a win for Donald, or for New York City. Make the man pay. All the feminists, they're trying to stick it to him. Make the man pay. And in Letitia James' eyes, he is too white and too pasty. So you definitely got to make him pay, because he's too white. This is what she says. That's what she runs on. Okay. And then the other ruling with the $83 million with the crazy lady, really odd. Don't know why they end up ruling in her favor, because it's really odd. You went on the show saying R is a sexy word. People think R is sexy. No. When you're physically assaulted, it's not sexy. So she went on the show and was talking about it. That was with I'm having a brain fart. Donald Trump. What is the girl? $83 million. You guys know that lady name, Jean Carroll. Jean Carroll was on MSNBC talking about how she was so happy to win the $83 million. And she was basically conspiring to sue him again. I believe this was was this on MSNBC? No. It might have been a Today Show, but it was really odd. And it's like, you guys act like, oh yeah, we won against Trump. Like, go girl, you did it for all the females. Like, and to me, like I said, I don't believe the lady's story. I really don't. Because people that was violently assaulted or just assaulted, they showed, and they couldn't present this evidence in the court. They showed her years prior, before she even brought up a case against Donald Trump, basically stalking Donald Trump on the internet. What do you say? But they ruled in her favor, $83.3 million. She was only seeking $10 million. Like I said, he's going to overturn that. That's not going to hold up in court. So you got all these things that's crumbling in front of the liberals, and they're crying about it. They're scrambling. They don't know what to do. The liberals are scrambling right now because Donald Trump, they hate him so much. They want to stick it to him wherever, however they can. And it doesn't it's not really a good thing when you talk about democracy, because you really can't say anything or you're subjected to being attacked. And reason why I'm saying that, let's talk about Killer Mike. Let's get to some of your chats before I get to Killer Mike. I wanted to highlight Dr. Butttooth. I don't know if he's still in the building. 5 memberships. I really appreciate that. Let me put the horn on. That's my that's my horn. These are basic I guess chanting, surprise stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate you, Dr. Butttooth. Gifted for gifting 5 memberships. And we have Mara Gabriela. She's signed up for it. Dwayne Manziel. All eyes on me. You guys, thank you. Thank you. Let's keep our membership growing. Okay, so we do have a super chat, Dr. Butttooth again. I'm assuming Dr. Butttooth, are you a real doctor? Dr. Butttooth, are you a real doctor? Appreciate your super chat. You're saying Jeffrey Epstein is Bill's boy. Yes, he is. Jeffrey Epstein is Bill Clinton. The Clintons, just the Clintons, period. Now, it would be, something to see if someone in the Justice Department actually investigate Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, because everyone around them seems to get gone. Everyone. Their associates, they end up shedding light on something that happened with Hillary or Bill Clinton. And it seems like anybody that's investigating it or was tied to it or was interviewed, they mysteriously die. Does anybody find that odd? Matter of fact, Hillary Clinton got so many dead bodies attached to her. She might be tied to some type of mafia gang. But nobody's saying anything about that. Nobody says, oh, this is really strange. Nobody says it's really strange that Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein's are really good friends, or was really good friends. And I'm pretty sure he was on the flight log, probably under a pseudonym. Anyway, Sergeant King, breaking news, Fulton County had a cyber attack. New records will be missing live right now. Yeah, they had a cyber attack. Last week. And it would be funny if they had another one. It would be funny. It would be funny. Chawanne, have you tried the dark theme on YouTube? A lot easier on your eyes. I do have the dark theme on, not YouTube, on my computer. I have a Mac, so it literally turns dark after 5 p.m. I think it's 5. Anyway, so like I said, you can't really say anything, because if you say anything, that's going against the mainstream propaganda. If it's going against the grain, you are called out. Not even called out. Some mysterious charges gets put on you for no apparent reason. That's why Killer Mike, they said he got into it with somebody, and they arrested him. This is him being hauled out. They waited for him to say his acceptance speech. And after he came down from his acceptance speech, he did win 3 Grammys that evening. And after his acceptance speech, the police, LAPD, came in and arrested him. And this is him getting hauled out. And they're saying he was detained, it was Sunday, after he won 3 before. So I'm not going to play that because they probably demonetized me. But like I said, he was accepting this speech. But prior to him getting on stage, they said I don't know if he got in an altercation, but someone in his crew got in an altercation and they arrested him. Okay. 48-year-old. 48-year-old Killer Mike. Chris Gardner of Hollywood Reporter first reported it. And he's, talking, with his 3 Grammys. So they let him do all his talking on the backstage and all that stuff. And then they arrested him. But why? Why did they arrest this guy? And it was a misdemeanor, unrelated to anything inside the arena. Unrelated to anything inside the arena. This is why he was arrested. Check this out. Killer Mike was with Bill Mayer. And Bill, you need to stop it. you need to stop trying to force people to agree what you agree to. Everybody don't agree with it. Just because you invited them on your show, that doesn't mean they had to be all, progressive and liberal. Everybody don't like Biden, and you don't have to force that. Everybody don't like him. Anyway, so this is what Bill asked Mike.
My feeling is pick your policy, not your person.
I mean, Biden and Trump, are you as depressed about that as most people as a choice?
My feeling is pick your policy, not your person. Find out. This is not the Dallas Cowboys versus your favorite team. This is the policies that will affect our generations for the next 20, 30, 40 years to come. So close your eyes, listen to the policies that are being pushed.
But you can't get yourself to say vote for Biden over Trump?
You want me to list it now? So now
I'm just saying that.
Can he get himself to apologize for the crime?
Why are you doing that, Bill? No, I effing can't. I effing can't.
Bill, can he get himself to get his head out of his say, black people, you are black regardless. I need you to tell me what I need to do. Can he pick a coalition of former people who are affected by drug laws, street gangs, recidivism and crime, and say, I need you as a board to advise me how to fix federal prisons? If he can do that, absolutely I can. So my challenge is out there.
All right.
That's why he was arrested. He was arrested because he pushed back.
Black people are waking up.
What are your
Bill, and he did not endorse Joe Biden.
feelings on the election coming up? I mean, Biden and Trump, are you as depressed about that as most people as a choice?
My feeling is pick your policy, not your person. Find out. This is not the Dallas Cowboys versus your favorite team. This is the policies that will affect our generations for the next 20, 30, 40 years to come. So close your eyes, listen to the policies that are being pushed.
But you can't get yourself to say vote for Biden over Trump?
You want me to list it now? So now
I'm just saying that.
Can he get himself to apologize for the crime, Bill? Can he get himself to get his head out of his say, black people, you are black regardless. I need you to tell me what I need to do. Can he pick a coalition of former people who are affected by drug laws, street gangs, recidivism and crime, and say, I need you as a board to advise me how to fix federal prisons? If he can do that, absolutely I can. So my challenge is out there.
All right.
Why do we do this? Why do especially liberal white folks feel as if they know the better way for black folks? I don't understand that. Liberal white folks says, oh, you can't say to people, vote for Biden over Trump. But why? That's why very intelligent man. Killer Mike is very intelligent man. He said, close your eyes and pick the policy over the rhetoric. Pick the policy. Vote by policy, not by what they're saying in the media. What is this policy, or what are these candidates, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, what are they running on? What type of policies are they going to put in place? And how does that affect me and my family? How does that affect us as a nation? I thought he explained that very well. And if you truly do what he says, you would not be voting for Bill. I keep on saying Bill Clinton. You would not be voting for Joe Biden. You wouldn't do it. Anyway. One other point. I posted up that my husband, he came out to his friends talking about he's going to vote for Donald Trump this year. And one of the things, the main rhetoric why black folks they're steering away from Donald Trump because they painted him as a racist. So my husband told one of his friends, he was like, okay, are we saying Joe Biden is not a racist? Because he does have a lot of policies, or he put a lot of policies in place to prove, and he said a lot of things to prove that he does not like Black people or poor people. He doesn't like them. So my husband goes to say, hey, if both of them racist, would you rather have a person that will put money in your pocket or, thriving economy, jobs out there? Or would you have a person in the office that's, going to have people over here, these working class men over here? And I'm not talking about working class men, American citizens. I'm talking about working class men that are taking up your trade skill jobs. And reason why he said trade skill jobs or jobs, working jobs, is because his friend is a tradesman. The houses that's being built behind our house, I put it on everything. I bet you 85% of those people are undocumented. Undocumented people. You can't tell me that white, Black, whatever, American citizens are so lazy that they didn't want these high-paying jobs. And they pay really good. These jobs that you putting framing houses, putting up crown molding, laying brick, those are high-paying jobs. Even though labor jobs, those are high-paying jobs. So think about it. If you're a skills trades person, they keep on saying, oh, nobody wants those jobs. Well, the jobs that they're taking, a lot of people want those. a lot of people want to get paid $40 an hour, $35 an hour. A lot of people would like those jobs. So when you hear that talking point, like, oh, they're letting people in, and they're not taking the jobs that you want. No, they're very much are taking the jobs that you want, and maybe your brother or your children might want. Yeah, they are. And they're taking away resources that might have some type of, we talking about social things in the community, resources in the community. They're taking those jobs, those resources away too, because now we have to fund them to be here, because they came over here with no money, up allegedly. We don't know that for sure, but allegedly they're over here with no money. So he posed that to, I know that was a long-winded explanation, but he told that to his friend, like, okay, if you say both of them are racist, why would you want one that's not going to do anything for you in your business or your pockets? Why would you want that? Just because this one you're saying is more racist? Like, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So you'd rather be broke with a less racist person than the person that's racist and you got money in your pocket. Doesn't make any sense. And I'm not saying Donald Trump is racist. I'm just saying this is the logic that people are having. And if you're having that logic, quite frankly, it's a stupid logic. It's just very, very stupid. I'd rather have a thriving economy and my husband is able to work and keep his job. They're not facing layoffs. Right now, he's a union rep. They're facing layoffs. They had to have a big meeting because, since they passed that union deal, about 900 people at another plant is about to get laid off. So you got those things, those dynamics that's changing the atmosphere, all because the economy They want this green new energy deal, and you want to invest in electricity, electrical vehicles. You want to get rid of all the gas powered vehicles. You want to get rid of the coal fire power plants, the resources that we have in abundance, that America, to keep us independent. You want to get rid of those type of technology and hand over our gross domestic product, our GDP will decline, of course, and hand it over to China. Because China has the technology for the batteries and all that stuff. They buying a whole bunch of land in Africa for some of those, the raw materials that they need for these electrical vehicles and other type of stuff. So really, we really have to think about the policy before we just start blindly and going with feelings. Oh, they said he's racist. Like, really, is he really racist? Because last time I checked, Donald Trump, he had nothing to do with the 94 crime bill. When half of these, your mama or your daddy probably suffered from a drug addiction. Or your mama or daddy was put in jail because of the crime bill for 20 to 25 years. I got a girlfriend, her dad is in jail for life. They gave him life in prison. He did some other shit though too, but he's in jail for drugs, basically. They gave him life in prison. So it's like, black folks, when we talk about what impacted us, that 94 crime bill totally impacted us. The school choice program, most Democrats and progressive, they don't believe in school choice. But your kids are failing. Look at the rate. If you go on, I think it's bestschools.org or something like that, it tells you the ranking of your school and the pass and fail rate on these standardized tests. It tells you, and see where your school ranks at. Not how they feel, oh, this is a great school. No, see where they actually rank in the education. And it's usually between 1 and 10. And most schools that's in the urban areas, they're like 2 to 3. Some of them are 4, some of them are 5. You never get nothing over a 5 because the schools are failing us. So why wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if you could go to a school where your kids could actually learn? You get a teacher that's actually caring about the student. Wouldn't that be great? And you have the choice to do that. But most Democrats, they don't believe that. They feel like you should just stay in that dying school system and your kids will fall behind. And hopefully eventually they'll catch up, maybe when they get to college or something. I'm not for sure. So just look at the policy. That has nothing to do with the presidency, but start looking at the policies. Anyway, I know I made that a long drawn out answer of why you should be voting not for Joe Biden, but Donald Trump. Anyway, we have another super chat. I am DPP discipline, prioritize, and purpose. White liberals using Negroes to do their bidding and hiding their hands. I hope this will continue making blacks leave the plantation. Dems party. Yes. Leave the plantation, you guys. It's time to wake up. Leave the plantation. Facts, sis. Bonita, there are so many videos of Biden saying disrespectful things about blacks and not one of Trump. Yeah, because, and this is why I have a problem with mainstream media. Mainstream media will tell you anything. And I just want to, before I get offline, since we got on mainstream media, mainstream media literally will tell you anything. And you are supposed to believe it. That's how they spread propaganda. If we haven't learned our lesson about COVID, even the pig flu, I don't know if you guys remember the pig flu. Remember how they was like, oh my God, the pig flu, we're gonna die. Everybody was running around. I don't know if they even came up with the vaccine, but now they got that's how the flu vaccine came about, because of the pig flu back in 2010. I had the pig flu, and I thought I was going to die, but eventually I came out of it 3 days later. 3 days later, I came out of it, and I was living in North Carolina then, and I could just remember. And this is half of the reason why I was like, oh, I need to settle my ass down and get married, because I am not going to be dying in the house by myself. Actually, 2 things happened to me. I got the pig flu, and then like the week later, my back went out and I couldn't move, and I did literally living by myself. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to get married, and I need to get married today. I know it's so crazy, but that's when I start being intentional in who I talk to and dating or whatever. But anyway, so back in 2010, the pig flu came out, and the media went hysteria over this pig flu. Then COVID happened. Media was saying, oh, we're dying by the droves, and people were dying. I'm not going to say COVID wasn't real. You're not going to hear that out of my mouth, because I know several people that passed away from COVID. I know several people that were affected by COVID. I think the problem, what I have with the media, is the misinformation about COVID. And they still, to this day, I don't know if you're vaccinated or not, but till this day, they're still saying, oh, get vaccinated, get protected, get your booster. Like, for what? At this point, why am I getting a booster? You saying there is still a threat. You're going with the same lie, saying this still the threat is still COVID. Okay, so this is very concerning to me, where you're gonna die on this hill alone, saying the boogeyman COVID is gonna get you, and if you don't take this vaccine, you are more likely to die. Now, we didn't know much about the COVID virus. People did some deep dive and research and said, oh, COVID, let me just pull it up. COVID is a strand of SARS. And, it's been around forever. And that's what the CDC classified it as, SARS-CoV-2 variant classification definition. Anyway, so people was like, oh, it's been around for years, and they have. It was detected years ago. So when we talk about the media will tell you anything. And people were running out buying toilet paper, literally fighting for toilet paper. Disinfected. You had to send your kids with the alcohol for the hands. They wouldn't use. I'm like, what's wrong with soap and water? Did soap and water, does that have COVID in it too? So it was like really odd stuff, and stuff that was almost manic. And the media was but it was pushing this mass hysteria, and people were going like literally crazy. And that's why we got these extreme stuff today. COVID birthed this progressiveness, politics. COVID birthed this ideology of, hey, I feel like something, so you got to acknowledge me what I feel like. That was the birthing place of this, what we see today. Okay, so when we're talking about mass media, now people are starting to wake up. They're starting to pay attention because there's been a mass layoff of media companies. Massive layoff of media companies. And journalism, period. Journalism. Let me just share this. Now, this is just AIs because they search the internet. It says the news industry off to a brutal 2024 start as mass layoff. Business media industry off. They're laying off journalists, people. Not only because people, they're starting to downside. People are, looking to Twitter, TikTok, YouTube to get their information because they find out that, people like me, we're not going to put a fluff to it. We're just going to report it because we're not trained journalists. And, you got some people on YouTube that are trained journalists, but we dictate what we're talking about. And of course, I add my little opinion on it, but it's just going to be factual information. I'm not going to make something up. And if I tell you I'm making something up because I think it's funny, I would say literally, wouldn't that be funny if this and this will happen? Because I think that's a good story to have. But I would literally say that out my mouth. But people are starting to realize that, okay, these media companies don't have our best interests because they spreading mass propaganda. CBC cuts 10% off their labor force. You had LA Times. LA Times is cutting off a massive labor force. What do you do? So it should say to the media or journalists, and I wouldn't just blame journalists. I will blame the people that are paying their salaries. Report the truth. Stop lying to the public. Stop lying. You're not protecting the public if you're lying to them. You're not doing that because you want something to go your way. You're trying to spin it to fit your narrative because, you want it in the direction that you want it in. To me, it's just mass manipulation. And I think it's a very dangerous game. So now people are cutting their subscriptions. They're not tuning in because they know they're going to get lied to. I'm surprised. Not CNN. CNN is not that bad. But MSNBC, MSNBC? They need to get off the air. Whoever hosts The View, off the air. I know they have an audience of probably just liberal, older people, or not even older, but middle-aged demographics. But come on now. You're lying. You're lying to the people. And you know what? I wouldn't even say The View. The View is probably more opinionated than anything. But only problem with The View is they put their own opinions on it, but they don't tell the truth. They tell their perception and they feel like it's no other perception. There's no other viewpoint, which is a very dangerous game. If you're going to report something on somebody, you should just say, hey, this is what is saying, and this is this, and this is my opinion. I think it does a disservice when you're spreading lies. So that's why we're seeing a big, massive layoff in business and media. That's why we're seeing that. Raising questions about the future of journalism. Forbes, the Daily News, all those, major stream news outlets, because people are not paying attention to them because they know they're being lied to. Anywho, you guys, I really appreciate every single last one of you. I really do. I really appreciate every single last one of you. And tomorrow we'll be talking about, I think we're going to get back on Tiffany Henyard. I got some couple of things that I'm working on, and some stuff that's going on with her. So we'll talk about her, and we'll see what else is going to break to later on today. So we'll probably throw that in the show tomorrow as well. So I will see you tomorrow at 1:30. 1:30 tomorrow. So I really appreciate every single last one of you. I am sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you tomorrow.